Hang on a minute, I've got a sunglasses holder up here. I've genuinely never been more excited to look at a car first thing in the morning, to a point where actually I struggled to sleep last night. This is the latest addition to the Coupland collection. It's a car I've been looking for 5 years. I have never seen one of these in the metal up until yesterday when I went and picked it up. It's a 2005 Proton Impian, or if you're watching in Malaysia, a Proton Waja. In this video, we're going to go take a look around the car, genuinely get my first reaction to it. It's the first time I've had a good look around it in the daylight. I went and picked it up at around about 8 o'clock last night in the dark, drove it home. All I will say is, well, it drove fantastically. Hopefully, it's as good on the outside as it is on the inside. Stay with it then. We'll have a look round the latest edition, Waja. So the first thing I want to do is talk about the colour. It's listed as silver. I would say it's more bronzy beige. We'll have a look at the actual plate when we open the engine bay. But look at it. It is a 5-seater family saloon. And actually, when released in 2001 here in the UK, they were 10 grand brand new. 10 grand for a brand new family saloon car. This is the GLS model. In fact, it was only available in 2 models, the GLS or the GLX. So this is, well, base spec. It's got quite a few sexy features for a base spec model 10 grand car. I'm going to start then on the near side, and well, there's not too many knocks and dings. I actually can't see any major scuffs or scrapes. There is a slight scrape on this front bumper, which is plastic, and you can see that there's a little bit of paint missing there. But this front wing is nice and tidy. There's no rust or rot anywhere in there. It does need a good old clean. There's a little bit of, I don't know what this is, tar or wax or whatever on this front sill, and actually there is a little bit of paint blebbing on the sill all the way along the bottom, but well, it doesn't seem rotten. This wing mirror is looking good. This door is looking good. Again, it's a little bit damp this morning, so I can't see it too well. There is a car park dent in this rear door, which I'm not too bothered about because my mate Josh could get that out for me. A little bit of paint starting to go here at the bottom of the sill. I'm not concerned about it just yet. Back bumper looking good. Again, there's a little bit of a scrape in there. But this panel looking good. Genuinely, looking down the side of the car here, it's very straight. Very straight indeed. The boot space at first glance, well, appears to be massive. We'll have a look in the boot in just a moment's time. And actually, these rear lights do remind me of the Volvo V40 a little bit. It's quite flat at the back, and hang on a minute, are those parking sensors as standard on a 10 grand GLS? Parking sensors in 2005? Really? High-level boot stoplights. I absolutely love that. And the Impian badge, well, it needs a little bit of a clean in there. There's quite a bit of moss, but the Proton badge is looking great. It needs a little bit of a stick down there, but I'm not bothered. The back here is in relatively good condition. It has had a little bit of a knock at some point. In fact, there's a little bit of a crease along this back bit here where the parking sensor is. Clearly, well, it didn't do its job and it's crazed the paint a little bit. Plastic bumper, sadly, so not something I'm going to be messing about with. But we've got a stainless steel exhaust finisher too. How cool is that? Thankfully, Ray has got both original factory keys, and actually they come with central locking. Is there a boot release under here? No. So you've still got to open the boot with the key. Oh! Car archaeology. There's a box in the back. Let's take a look what's in there. The boot space actually is massive, to a point where I could probably get in it. I'm not going to do that. The boot rubber seal looks good, and there doesn't seem to be any water ingress in there. All around here is nice and clean. No rot or rust. There's a little bit of rubbing here on this back bumper, which again I think is plastic. So that should clean off nicely. So far so good. Take a look in the boot. What do we got in the box? We've got a tyre iron. We've got an RAC warning sticker. It appears to be probably the original toolkit roll. A foot pump. What is this? Wow. Is that a sari? And we've got some sort of cover there. Some spark plugs. I don't know what that is. Who knows? Some de-icer. Some jump leads. Some multicoloured signage. Aha! The locking nut set for an Impian. Yes, please. There it is. Are they the locking wheel nuts? Yeah, someone's actually taken the locking wheel nuts off the car. I don't blame them. Is anyone going to be nicking the wheel nuts from here? So much paperwork in here too. I'm not sure what that's all about. Renew your RAC membership. Oh, and the original Proton RAC membership pack. Yes. Lovely. Look at that. Welcome to membership. Oh, ooh. RAC original, the new Knights of the Road tax disc holder and documents. That's made me a happy bunny, especially with that tax disc holder in there. Very nice. Maps, all sorts of stuff in here. Staffordshire, paperwork, days out. Dumfries and Galloway tourist map. The motorist's map of where to find little chefs. Oh, this is brilliant. This is absolutely fantastic. The Reader's Digest map books. And your great pull out of keep to camping and caravanning. Excellent. That's cool, isn't it? Lifting this boot carpet then, which is nice and dry and in very good condition, we can see hopefully, aha, yes, the original spare wheel. It's actually a space saver, so you don't get a full alloy, but it's definitely never been fitted to the car. What else is under there? I don't know, some tools, bits and pieces. It's not held in place correctly, but we'll sort that out. Also, by the way, which I've never seen before, is this, which is a little, I don't know, secret storage cubby. I could put me pork pies in there. Well, I like that. Now, I've seen previously boot lids going rusty here at this corner, and actually, well, there's a bit of condensation in here this morning. It has been a wet night followed by a good morning, but that all looks very nice in there. That should clean up lovely. The boot lid does not appear to have any wibbles in it, meaning that someone hasn't used it as a shelf, which is good. And actually, looking at the roof, very similar. No one heavy's been sat on there. This is a nice car. Let's check out the offside then. There's a little bit of scuffing to this rear bumper. It doesn't look like it's been painted, and hopefully with a little bit of scratch remove it will remove those marks. It does need a good clean up around the gills, all in the door shuts and the windows. I think Ray tried his best to give it a clean before I bought it, but in fairness to him, he is nearly 90, so he's done a grand job. There's a little bit of rust starting to come through here on this wheel arch and on this sill. This here, I think, is algae, so I'm not too bothered about that. Looking down this side, well, I can't actually see a single dent. Ah, yes, there's a slight mark here where someone's opened a car door. I'm not too bothered by that. This black paintwork is all faded. That needs a good old paint, like normal. Actually, maybe a bit of teakwood will bring that back. Ah, it's got a few scuffs here and there. But the sills, again, nice and solid. There is a little bit of rust just starting to show through here and there, but again, I think it's probably surface. I'm hoping it's not coming through from the inside. Maybe if it was to pop an endoscope in there, we'd be able to see. One thing I do love are the factory fit mud flaps. That sounds a bit rusty. One thing I do want to point out is the lack of paint here on this trim. Ray was furious when he took his car recently to a jet wash at his local supermarket, and well, it blasted this quite thin paint off. I'm not bothered too much because this is plastic, this is plastic. My plan is to clean this up thoroughly, mask it all off and spray paint it matte black again. The good news is it's not the actual paintwork, so they didn't blast any lacquer off. But here's a word of warning about supermarket wash bays. They sometimes can do more harm than good. The only wibble on this car I've found so far is here, on this front wing, and Ray admits to knocking that on his post on his gate when he backed out once. We'll let him off because, well, the paintwork actually doesn't seem damaged. It seems like it's just been pushed in. Again, Josh, paintless dent removal man, should be able to do something with that for about 60 quid. Coming to the front, we've got glass headlights, which means I don't need to polish these within an inch of their life to bring them back again. Plastic headlights have got a lot to answer for, in my opinion. We've also got glass front fog lights and the original number plates. Again, the front bumper, well, it's had a bit of a scuff in its life, and actually it's been touched in at some point, but it's all the original paint, and I think a good bit of scratch remover will probably get the majority of that off. One thing I do love about the Impian is this sort of almost Renault Laguna style front. These black fins are actually painted. No, they're not. They're plastic. Get a bit of Owatrol on that, they'll come up nicely. The badge is also in lovely condition. This is a good car. Let's take a look under the bonnet then, because, well, I've driven it home, so I know how well it drives. Now, like most Protons, the bonnet is as heavy as anything. It's probably the heaviest part of the car. In fact, this isn't a very light car on the road. But now we can see under the engine bay. And there's something missing which I'm upset about, but more on that in a minute. It's powered by a Mitsubishi engine, thankfully. There were 3 variants of these, the original variant being the 1.6 Mitsubishi Orion engine, which is what's here. Then, for a time, you could get a 1.8 version with a Renault engine. And then Proton decided, no, we're going to develop our own in-house engine, which was the 1.6 Cam Pro. By all accounts, it was a good engine. However, there were some torque issues which very clever people, cleverer than me, will be able to explain. I spoke to Ali, who is a friend of mine and very popular in the Proton community, who said, John, get a Mitsubishi one. That's exactly what I've gone and got. There is a cover missing here, a plastic oil cover. I haven't found it in the car yet, and, well, Ray doesn't know where it is. So maybe that is missing. So if you've got one of these in a scrapyard near you, grab me the oil cover, please. Apart from that, the engine bay looks nice and tidy. Things I'm going to check out are obviously the coolant levels. The battery looks like it's relatively new. We'll be checking out the air filter, Dad and I, power steering, brake fluid, etc. But I have no concerns because, well, up until recently, Ray had this car serviced every 6 months. Oh, and things I get excited by are burger paint codes. In fact, this is an Alesco paint code. Star Silver, it's called. Looks bronze to me. With the reliability of the Mitsubishi engine, there's no wonder that these are most popularly used as taxis and will do upwards of 400,000 kilometres. Like I said, this car has covered less than 20,000 miles. The engine is barely run in. In fact, driving the car home last night, she wanted to go. I actually doubt this car's ever been driven more than 60 miles an hour. Ray's been covering less than 250 miles a year. I nearly drove more miles on the way home than the car did last year. So it's going to be beneficial to give it a good old run, isn't it? Lots of space in this engine bay to work on too. I wonder if you could do an engine swap. Put a turbo in it. Here's one of my favourite parts, which is looking inside a car. And with something like this, interior parts are difficult to buy. If all the bits are there, you can make a good car. This has the makings then of something relatively good. Oh, look at these door cards. Brown, faux leather, faux mahogany inserts, almost purple there, and this wonderful cloth. We've got electric windows, hooray! We've got door speakers, hooray! We've got an internal opening warning light. This is really nice. The car has come with a whole host of paperwork, as you can see here, including the original bill of sale. The seats we'll have a look at in just a moment's time. There is some stuff in the footwell, including some McDonald's Big Tasty Flavour Wraps wrap of the day. Ignore that, because I got a bit peckish on the way home. It's an absolute testament to Ray, and probably a measure of the man, the fact that the seats are covered over with these seat covers. I am just going to remove that, and look at that. That lovely cream sandstone interior is unmarked. There's a bit of muck on the driver's bolsters. Nothing that a little bit of a damp rag won't sort out. This interior is in very good condition. It smells a bit damp, and actually there's some evidence of damp here on the inside. There's clearly some sort of leak somewhere, but where's it coming from? Ray, I'm going to cover your seat back over, mate, because the last thing I want to do is get that mucky. The plastics inside are in really good condition. There's no major scratches or marks. With a little bit of silicone spray, they will come up really nicely. Gear gaiter is sort of a leatherette and it's not split. And there's this sort of, I don't know, knob guides all over here. The gear knob is in really good condition, including the gear gaiter surround as well. Everything needs a good old clean. Everything needs a good old scrub and wipe down, but what a thing. I love the purple mahogany style steering wheel. Cool. The rear is pretty much the same too. In fact, Ray did say that hardly anyone, if anyone, has sat in the rear. He couldn't actually remember. It does have fold down seats. Here you've got a, I don't know, 60-40 fold down. I suspect that not many times has this ever been used. In fact, the seatbelt here has been trapped, but let's just put that behind there. I don't think that's ever been used. There we go. Ready to rumble, Proton style. The headlining is good. There's a little bit of mould around these back windows. There's probably a little bit of a leak from the rear quarter light windows. And actually I'm seeing here is carpet. Oh. Remove these bits of carpet and you've got the original Proton floor mats, unmarked, and a COVID mask. Hardly anyone has sat in the back here. What a great interior. I want to show you this, which is the original plastic on the kick plate here. that's never been removed. That original plastic there. Great. Those door cards here also looking good. No marks or anything on there. It is just a little bit, well, dusty. Oh, I think this is going to clean up really nicely. I'm going to do a little bit more car archaeology here in the back. What's this? Oh, that's just some more stuff that Ray has provided me with. What have we got in the back here? Well, there's a moulding there, probably for a rear ashtray, which we don't have. Probably you get that in a GLX. And I keep going on about GLS versus GLX. What else did you get? Well, leather seats, but I'm pretty comfortable with the fact that I've not got leather seats. In fact, I'm pretty glad I haven't. Rear parcel shelf speakers too. This, with a good hoover out, will come up a treat. More carpet too. Now I know what I know, and now I can see what I can see. It almost makes me feel quite bad sitting in the car. The ride height is very good. You've got multi-position steering wheel as well. Well, up and down, you can't come in and out. What else have you got in here? You've got auto light adjustment. You've got auto, well, electrical wing mirror adjustment, which works, by the way. Oh, and by the way, did I forget to tell you? It's got aircon. I'm baffled that this, a £10,000 car from new, the base spec came with full electric windows, full remote central locking, air conditioning, CD player. Have we got a side air? Hang on a minute, I've got a sunglasses holder up here. What? A sunglasses holder? Front fog, rear fog. Armrest. How did this not take off? How are these not one of the best-selling cheap budget cars in the world? Oh yeah, it's got a Proton badge on it. And there's 2 cup holders. Don't get that in your Rover 75. What I want to share with you now is starting it up so you can listen to that Mitsubishi engine tick over. That's telling me the doors are open. Ignore that. That's just character. The alternator belt's a bit noisy. It could be that the battery is quite flat, or it could be that it needs an adjustment. It could also be a power steering belt. That'll sort that. I'm not worried. There you go. Problem solved. And now we can hear and see that Mitsubishi Orion engine ticking over. What a lovely car. The Clarion sound system I'm going to have to turn off, else Gwen Stefani's going to get me banned off YouTube. But there is a Clarion for Proton cars CD changer in here. Ray has told me he's never used the CD player. And actually, when I turned the radio on for the first time, it was on smooth. There were no other radio stations programmed into the car. Just smooth radio. I think that's quite fitting. I'm going to test the aircon because, well, it might not work. Well, there's the aircon kicking in. The aircon. The aircon works. I bet that's never been regassed in its life. That aircon is so cold. Cigar lighter's never been used either. What's in the glove box? The original SR Thompson & Sons tax disc holder. That's what's in the glove box. Overall then, the interior is quite a nice place to be. Let's show you in here. We've got this lovely, I don't know how to describe it, it's like a red mahogany style plastic, and it's got these featurettes on here. Same with the gear knob, look at that, isn't that wonderful? And this lovely, almost purple-esque steering wheel. What a place to be! That is fantastic. There's your internal centre console, and it's angled like a BMW. In fact, this set to be a rival to Volvo and BMW at the time. This was Proton's answer. What do you reckon? This is great. Mirrors. Yep. Better not got one here. No. Here's the sunglasses holder, by the way. What a cool thing. I wonder what this button does. Can't work that out yet. There's a button there for something. What's that do? One thing that does let the car down is the alloy wheels. The paint has started to flake off, but for the sake of, well, a couple of £100, I could get them refurbed and actually make this car pretty much concours with a bit of a clean and a bit of an address on them sills. £300 well spent. Well, we shall soon find out, because not only have I not looked properly underneath the car and giving it a mechanical once over, the MOT is due next week. I'm expecting Neil to say that it's fine. I will need some new tyres on the back. But for £300, I'd have paid that just to drive it home and have the experience of looking round it. The plan is to take it for an MOT and see what needs doing. And then I think this is one that's going to stay in the Coupland collection. Rustival 3, maybe. Festival of the Unexceptional, 2025. Maybe. Ray, she's gone to a good home. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you reckon to the Impian? What do you reckon to the name Waja? I'm glad that Proton didn't use that in the UK. Lots more content coming to the channel on this car. This purely is a first walk around. I'm sure Dad's reaction will be a little bit different. Maybe we'll even get Mrs. John Coupland's reaction to the car. She didn't think it was as bad as I thought, to be honest with you. It's ticking over nicely. I'm going to let it warm up and take it around to Dad's. If you've enjoyed the video, thumbs up please. If you haven't already done so, let me know in the comments. Proton Impian, good content for the channel, good car, or something you think, actually this is bad, John, get rid of it. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. I'm really happy with this one. It'd be a shame to drive it and put so many more miles on it. But I think it's going to be staying. Needs a good clean, but it's going to be staying. Until next time, have a great day. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. There are so many more Proton related videos on the channel, and I've actually selected a couple that I think you might like here on this page. Give them a click to watch them now. Don't forget to subscribe for more Proton fun and lots more videos coming soon.